Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and I am back bringing you my first game. I believe this is the first game I'll be casting that was actually played in 2010. This is going to be some more Samsung Con action, and this time they'll be playing KT Rollster. We're going to have Stork versus Stats on, it looks, just from the start positions, maybe this is Outsider, I want to say? Yeah, it looks like this is Outsider. And I am really interested to see what happened in this game, because I almost feel that this is kind of a partial revenge game, if you will. I think it's Stork at the bottom of the map, and then we'll have Stats on the left side of the map. Just because Stats did beat Jangbi in a best of 3 very recently, and I gotta say that absolutely depressed me, and I am hardcore, totally and utterly on rooting for Stork in this game because of that. You can't beat my Jangbi and expect me to support you. I'm very upset at you, Stats. Grr. But I think Stork will come away with this. Stork has multiple reasons to come away with this. One, he is an insanely accomplished PvPer. When it comes to the PvP Masters, Stork or Bisu, Bisu or Stork, Stork and Bisu, those are your options when it comes to the best PvPers of the last few years. Those two are in a world of their own. I mean, if you've seen them in their finals, in their best of 5s, those are some just absolutely epic, sick plays, and when they play others, it feels like they just are at such an advantage from start to beginning. They are just so good, and they understand the matchup and the intricacies at a level that just surpasses everyone else, and they definitely start out pretty much every single game, I feel, with an advantage. No matter what the map, no matter what the circumstances, I've never seen a Stork or Bisu game and seen and felt that they were at a disadvantage in terms of their opponent. And Stork's gonna have additional reason. His teammate, his friend, his practice partner Jangbi has been beaten by this player in a best of 3. So for the honor of Samsung Con, for the honor of the Samsung Con Protoss line, which really has had such a huge resurgence in this the last few in this round, you've got to think that Stork is going to be on top of his game, and now we already see a manor pylon going down for Stork, doing some early just economic harassment with his probes, some awesome play already, trying to harass some of the probes mining gas. This is just excellent play by him already right off the bat. Looks like Stats is producing an early Zealot here, not going to be racing to Cybernetics Core, producing an early Zealot, throwing that pylon as well, and we'll see if Stork, has he thrown out a second pylon, or is he going for that Cybernetics Core? Haven't seen it yet. That Manor pylon probably delayed him by a few seconds. It looks like he is throwing down another pylon, and that is an anti-Manor pylon. A veteran PvPer like Stork usually will not get Manor pylon. I think that's a second Manor pylon by Stork. Stork is just gonna like make a wall of pylons in Stats base and say hello, good luck mining. And if you've ever played PvP, or if you've ever played a Protoss that does this and just throws up tons of Manor pylons inside your mineral lines, it is just so obnoxious. It is the epitome of obnoxious. Another Manor pylon going down, and Stork is being. This is hilarious play by Stork. Stork is just doing, just being as harassed as possible. I believe his probe has gone down, but it looks like that might be a Stork Zealot that has snuck into the base, and red and brown. It's kind of hard to tell the colors because I don't have a high-quality video. I'm going to have to download the high-quality version later, but I think that is a Stork Zealot there. Yeah, it is, but it gets trapped in between Stats and Zealots. Oh, wow, that is some Gosu play there by Stats. I got to give him some grudging respect there. That was some very nice play there, stopping that Zealot. Those Manor pylons, 3 Manor pylons, plus that Zealot. That Zealot was allowed to stay alive longer. That Manor pylon would have done so much more damage, plus the possible damage that Zealot does. So, yeah, that was pretty intense there. That was very critical of Stats able to take down that Zealot so quickly. It allowed him to get rid of that Manor pylon quickly. It allowed him to also stop that harassment. So some good play by him. It looks like Stats is looking to take an expansion there, possibly some hidden tech as well, but most likely an expansion. And Stork trying to sneak a probe through, and I think he'll be successful here in terms of sneaking a probe through the back into Stats' base, getting another vision in. We do have a Cybernetics Core spinning for Stork, but not for Stats. Stats' Cybernetics Core is not spinning, so he's going to be going for some sort of tech play here, whether it's an early or an early expansion, one or the other. We'll see which, and it looks like it is going to be an early expansion there. The observers just clicked on it, so Yeah, but I think Stork is going to be able to scout this out. There aren't any Dragoons produced. There's the first Dragoon for stats, but that is not going to be able to stop that probe from getting a full scout on, especially if Stork darts straight to that 12, up to that 12 o'clock position, which is exactly what he does. And now you're seeing the turn over into to Jangby's face, and I'm sure Jangby is rooting hardcore for Stork. And what's his face? Stat's got to be very disappointed that his base has just been scouted out, because he is going to probably be in some trouble now. I expect Stork will just go standard Dragoon Reaver. We do see the robotics facility coming up. He does not have to worry in any way about DTs right now, so that'll put him in a nice spot. It looks like Stork's actually going to try and take a base of his own mineral only. I'm very surprised. Usually players, when they see someone go for their mineral only in this situation, they would take their natural expansion. And because you are taking your base late, but if you take your natural expansion, you get your second gas, and that is huge. Getting your second gas anytime in a mirror matchup. So I'm kind of surprised to see Stork go for this kind of strategy, knowing that he's going to have his base up later, but not committing to a one-base play and also not committing to try and get an economic advantage with the gas there. Kind of surprised. There may be a strategic reason for it, but I don't think that this is the proper play. Stork is a great player, so I'm sure. Actually, you know what? I assume that he knows Stork is a great player. I'm sure he has a good reason for doing it this way. Producing an observatory now, so just trying to get information here. Both players just throwing up observatories that are going to try and get information. And I'm honestly very, very surprised that neither player went Reaver first, particularly since Stork got such a full scout on. He knew that there weren't DTs coming his way, and yet he's choosing to get observers first, just looking to get information. Rather than going for some early attacks here. And now we're seeing Stork finally getting his second base up and running. We do have a couple Dragoons coming out here getting picked up by a shuttle for Stork, and this could actually be extremely effective. If you drop them behind the mineral lines there at the top left, he could actually start stopping mining there. And I'm trying to think, there was a PvP recently where, or maybe it was a PV, I don't know. I've seen this before where this type of play was used, where these where Dragoons were used to pretty much halt mining at bases around in this area, and it looks like Stats is doing the exact same thing. So both these players doing the exact same play, exact same builds, exact same plays, and yeah, Stork looking good. Stats is actually, you know, I'm going to continue to give him some grudging respect right now. Stats is definitely playing very well right now, and his tech is all going to be on time. Both players throwing up robotic support base. Both players are going to be playing extremely standard. He did get his second base up slightly earlier, so we will have a slight economic advantage, I would say, for Stats right now. And it's all going to really come down to micro. There may be a 1 or 2 Dragoon advantage for Stats, and usually we'd say that that's a huge advantage. But with the Dragoon numbers that will likely be produced off of 2 bases, 1 or 2 Dragoons, is going to be more about army positioning, going to be about Reaver micro more than anything else. And it looks like Stats is actually pushing out here, going to go to the natural expansion of Stork, and maybe try and put on some early pressure here, 7 minutes into the game, but he's certainly not going to be able to push at that ramp, and once a Reaver's produced, that he's going to be able to retake his natural expansion very quickly. We do have an observer out. If that observer gets picked off, obviously that is very critical as well. We could also see a drop from Stats going to the right side. That would actually be the better play, in my opinion, would be going for some sort of Zealot or Dragoon drop to the right side while putting on some pressure with these Dragoons. And it looks like he picked up some Zealots, was maybe thinking about doing that type of a play, but a couple Dragoons for Stork set into that position. Looks like they'll be able to at least stop this from being overly effective. And the counter shuttle by Stork. So this is kind of funny. We're seeing shuttles being countered by shuttles. Usually see this in a TVT where you get drops and you get counter drops, and looks like we're going to see this in PvP style. It's not as effective in PvP, I gotta say, getting your units down second, just because your opponent doesn't have a siege mode. They're not going to be more vulnerable at close range than long range, especially if you're dropping Dragoons on Dragoons, which is what I believe that would have been. I highly doubt Stork produced some extra Zealot so far. Looks like Stork has actually produced a speed shuttle, and Turret has not, so that'll be a huge change. Is in deviation in strategy. Stork has gone for speed shuttle. Stats has gone for a third base there. It is natural expansion, going to try and gain a bigger economic lead, and we see that he's also produced a couple Reavers trying to get in there, trying to do some damage. I don't think he's going to be able to do much there. Able to pick up that observer. Stork